Okay guys, we're gonna start in the standing position today. We're gonna come out with a very simple grip. We're gonna come out and we're gonna take a collar tie. So we're gonna take a collar tie on one side like this, and we're gonna grab a wrist on the other side. So we're in a position here like this. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna shuffle, trying to make our man square, he stands up. If I couldn't get him to square, he stands up, I might even try squaring myself to him. All I want is to get to a point where his legs are like this, as opposed to being staggered, all right? So often we can do this, where we make him step and we go here, and that's what we're gonna start when we practice it to start out with here. So I come in here and I go like this. Then from here, I'm gonna start to change level and I'm gonna slide myself through. So I want you to think about this kind of in advance last night, I taught a variation of Sumigaeshi from the standing position, very similar. I'm gonna step a leg in and then I'm gonna knee cut through on my other leg. So I come through here, I knee cut through, and then I go to the knee like this. Now, as I get down to this point, pulling on the head doesn't help me anymore. So I switch to a cross frame. Okay, so I go to here, my hips roll up, I go into a Ashi Garami, and we make connection to our partner. Okay, so we're hitting a slide Ashi here, and these work really well. You get someone standing upright with their legs relatively wide apart. They think that you're working collar tie battles. They think you're coming out and you're gonna pull on their head, and the next thing you go into their leg, right? So we go here, I change level slightly. I take his arm out of the way, so it gives me access to the knee. I step in, and then I slide with my knee. As I slide with my knee, I go to his knee and I pull him through. I cross frame. I only cross frame if Rob was to say, come into me. If Rob takes his chest away, I can't reach it. That's fine. Now I can just go to the knee. One more time. We're here, we come out, we tie up with each other. If he's in a full wrestling stance and we're down like this, the hips are kind of further away. So this works best when you got someone a little more standing upright. So you might pull on their head a little bit. This sort of thing works well. I square him up, I step, I go to the knee, I slide through, and then we go into Ashi Garami. Let's give it a go. So what we started to practice there was, I saw a lot of people practicing with fairly lean over stances. You were both like this. Now let's practice it from further up. Now I think the reason people start to lean over is because they know they're going to slide and they think, oh, it's a really long way, so I want to start to lean down. But the more you can show him like we're here and we're working a collar tie battle and I'm trying to, you know, work with Ashiwaza and like fuck around with his feet, the more he's thinking about that, the less he's thinking about me sliding in between his legs. So we're going to just play around in a more upright posture here. I managed to square him up and then I'm just going to go. So look what we do. I step into the middle like this, because if you think about it, in a moment it's going to hook in here under that glute for the Ashi Garami. So I just step it into the middle and then my knee slides through as I come through here. So my knee slides through and we get right under. Where this is going to fail is you not getting under him. So what I mean by that is, where I see this fail on people, is that they kind of show him too much. They don't slide through, and then it like slides to here and he falls to his knees and we kind of just pull guard. All right, you haven't lost too much, but it's not the best either. So what I want to happen is, like, I want him to get to a point where he basically falls on top of me. If he tries to sprawl at that stage, it's very difficult. So we're just going to clean it up a little bit. We'll try and do it from a bit more of an upright posture. So we're standing up. I see the legs are open, and then I go into the nice strong Ashi Garami. Let's give it a go. I don't want your hips left on the ground, guys. I want your hips to come up. So anytime I make an entry into a Ashi Garami, this type of thing will just get dismantled and you'll get past. So I want you to round your body, bring your hips up and make good connection. From here, you should be able to get like quite big responses from him. And I always want your initial response to look something like this. I want you to try to knock him down backwards. Even if it doesn't knock him down, that's fine. I want something like that. Look at the response I got from him. That shows that I put weight back this direction. Okay, so you're gonna make your entry. All right, you don't have to make it from the standing position. You can just make it from down here. But as soon as you fire in, you're going to off balance him like this. I'm dumping weight down through his hip. As soon as I get this reaction, I'm then going to turn my knees in, starting to try to expose the heel. I'm still back heeling my heel into my shin. So as we turn here and Rob tries to run away, just stay standing, Rob, and run out this direction, my back heel is keeping me in play. Okay, my back heel is wedging the top of his quadricep, and I'm trying to turn both my knees down to the mat. So look how we're going to play this. I backwards roll up here, I off balance him, I turn everything, he tries to run away, and I'm going to turn down until I hit everything into the mat. And you'll notice there's big exposure, and we'll go into that, right? So pretty simple little series here. I fire in, I off balance him, I turn, he tries to run and rip out, and I'm turning my knees down into the mat, so his knee is on the mat, I'm back heeling, my knees are scissoring, and then from here, there's good exposure on the heel. All right, get a punter, let's go with this. We think about what we did here. We pulled ourselves into position, my hips came up. Now, when we make that entry, what can also start to happen when we're here is that Rob tries to drive into me. So I'll recreate it from the beginning position. And this is why we wanted that cross frame in the beginning. So I come into here, I slide in, and he starts to drive into me before I can get my foot on the hip. So I can't dictate the distance. I can't manage the distance. If I have my foot on his hip and Rob tries to come into me, I can push him away. But before you get the foot on the hip, he can start to drive in. So now our cross frame is very important now. If I didn't have a cross frame, instead of a collar tie, he'll connect upper body grips, and this is bad. So I have a cross frame here like so, thumb in the armpit. And now as I feel him coming in, I take my toes in the mat and I start to kick him over this direction. Now you're always going to get a response of him putting his hand on the mat. If this happens, try to knock him back towards his ass. If you feel you're trying to knock him to his ass and he's heisting his hips because his hand's posted, start to go to the hand and just pull the hand up and then knock him down. Okay, so if you want to run it from the standing position, you can. It might make more sense to you. We come out here, we're wrestling away. I get him squared up, I go, but before I get the foot on the hip, this happens. So I got a cross frame in. Remember, I don't want this top knee to get smashed, so I've got to start to extend and off balance him, start to put him out here, put his hip to the mat. I can start to come up into top position and work. If I felt like he was driving in and the hand was really, really heavy, I reach for the hand, I pull it out, and then I come up into top position. Let's go. Basics executed well are actually surprisingly rare. So we square him up, I take a knee pull, I slide through, we go to here. I can't get the foot on the hip, we start to go through the series we just looked at, so let's keep that in mind. If you can, stretch your man away and start to do this and put his weight onto his knee and get on your inside hip, we can also end up in this type of situation where I push him away and then I can reclaim my foot back on the hip that I had before, or I can go into other variations where I put a butterfly hook in here and I take this inside leg. I can leave the inside leg where it is, or I can start to limp it up to here and I use this as a bolster. So I bolster my right foot against my left foot and I just lay my left foot here. I don't put it so deep that Rob could heel hook it. I have it shallow here and I just lock in like so. And now I'm going to frame the side of his knee and I'm going to start to shuffle his foot till I get it nice and high up in my armpit. His toes are pointing right up into the pit of my armpit. So my elbow comes in tight. I'm not slipping his heel on the inside, but I definitely don't have his heel most of the way through. It's just in the front third there, pulling inwards. My palm goes on the inside of the tibia, and then my other hand goes on my wrist, and everything just pulls in. So I'm in a really strong position to break here. Now from here, I want to try and face everything inwards. I pull my elbow in, and then I pull his toes back in a circular motion with my armpit. And I start to go like this, and we get really strong braking pressure through the foot with a variation of straight foot lock. So let's have a look how that looks. I slid in underneath Rob here, and he was here. I take my toes in the mat, and I just pivot everything onto my other hip, and then I can come up here and reset my Ashi Garami. What you'll find is he wants to drive his foot back to the mat. So coming over here and putting this butterfly hook in allows you to kind of force him away from you. You can bring your feet up into positions like this, and it forces him away even more. I'm kind of pushing him till I can get into my position that I'm happy with my hands. Once I'm happy here. Now, if Rob starts to turn like he is and my foot feels like it's falling, this is not a problem. I'm just going to throw into a reap position. I'm going to start to go belly down. And then from the belly down position, we start to go into braking. If he rolls back through somehow, I just catch a foot post here, and now at any stage through here, I can go through the same break. What I don't really want is a breakout here. Not that it's wrong, but these will probably be a little better. Something in this area. So you can practice braking all the way through here. Okay, so what we're not doing is just driving through the back of the calf. There's actually pressure on his foot here. It's a very precise grip. So I slide in, I go to here, he comes down, he's pushing in on me, and I go out to here. I put my butterfly hook in like so, I catch my grip up, and then I start to go into braking. Let's give it a go. I managed to hit a slide, I come in, and we start to put everything out towards this direction. Now, if I can't get the weight off the foot locks are not there as an option for you. So if this is happening, maybe we focus more on reaping. Now we're going to try to reap the leg like we looked at, turning our knees in, and then we expose the heel. Now we're going to play around with a different foot positioning here. What we're going to do is take our inside hook out of here, and we're going to lock it on the outside and turn our knees down. Okay, so we're going to turn our knees this direction. Now from here, when he tries to hit a turnout, he can turn out, but with the feet on the outside, it is not that good for him. He really wants to, when he tries to turn out from here, is put my feet to the inside and force my feet back into a position like this. All right, this will be better for him. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw our feet to this position. So I'm locking a triangle and pointing my knees this direction, so my left hip's in a good braking position, and then we're going to start to catch the heel here in a nice high heel position, and then we're going to start to go into braking. I lift the heel and I start to drive my hips through. This is actually a really strong, it's a variation of outside Ashi, obviously, but it's an outside Ashi with the reap, and putting my feet on the outside is a good idea here. All right, so we looked before at the idea of locking our feet here, definitely not wrong. This time, we're switching and locking our feet like this, and then we're starting to break through from here. Now, if Rob does happen to roll somehow, I can follow him, and I'm ready to break him anywhere through here. I'm in a very good spot. So let's just see what that'll look like. I come in underneath here, we go to here, and I manage to try to turn everything in. If I can get the foot off the mat, I can go into my straight foot lock, but the foot's here on the mat, so I'm just going to focus more on turning the knee in with the reap. I'm not worried about the foot positioning. I'm going to extract this foot and throw. Now, don't turn your knees to the ceiling. If Rob comes back in now I just get smashed in outside Ashi. So this is a little bit more advanced. When I do this, I've got to turn my knees this direction and turn everything like this. He'll be trying to straighten his leg and turn it back outwards. I catch the heel, I get high hands, and then we go into braking from here. All right, so this is more advanced, so don't freak out. If you've been struggling with the other stuff, maybe don't do this. But for the more advanced guys, the detail is once we throw the feet to the outside here, I've got a very good braking position. All right, if he does happen to turn back in, he's got to be careful about getting broken towards the ceiling here. What I don't want to happen is my knees get pointed away, and now I'm in this. I don't really want that to happen. Let's give it a go.